Now on CoastTV News.
Wet Winter Wednesday. After a stretch of a dry period, Delmarva is waking up to snow flurries.
A little light snow passed through the overnight, left a dusting across some parts of Delmarva. We'll have some slick spots this morning, looking at a partly sunny day, but I'm tracking an Arctic blast for the weekend.
Plus, crossing cancellations, how icy conditions are affecting the schedules of not one, but two well-known local ferries.
And council seat scrutiny. Why the issue over one former candidate's and one current member's residency in Ocean City has created a controversy.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And I'm Grace Eckerly. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Grace.
I heard that there was something that's been weighing on your mind.
You're going to go right to it.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono on this Wednesday morning. It's February 4th, by the way. And he's tracking wind chill conditions on Saturday below zero. Now, normally I like my Saturdays, Grace.
Right.
You know that.
Exactly.
Below zero wind chill?
I understand.
Chris?
This really put a damper on Matt's
That was a little
spirits
jarring news that
Matt,
he
it's
dropped
okay.
on us this morning.
You will get through this.
I don't know, Chris.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know what else I could do for you there, but it is going to be dry. We're not going to be dealing with any big winter storms, so there's some positive news there. Now, we did have a light round of some snow overnight, some mixed precipitation pushed through the area just after midnight, and you can see it's pretty much offshore already, but some of us having to maybe brush off some light snow on the windshield. Seeing a little area of snow across portions of central Virginia that will just pass to our south here through the morning. Now, taking a live look into the icy docks here in Cambridge, 31 degrees there, so some areas are just below the freezing mark, so some icy slick spots are possible this morning, especially away from the beaches. Wind chill for the second straight morning, not a huge factor, so that's certainly good news. So some slick spots at least through about 7 a.m. We get those temperatures above the freezing mark, mid to upper 30s through the afternoon under partly sunny skies. Unfortunately, we'll talk more about those sub-zero wind chills over the weekend. The full 7-day forecast just minutes away.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is what we are seeing on our roads. Chris mentioned parts of Delmarva. A couple parts got some flurries overnight, Grace.
Giving us a live look outside in our First Alert weather Jeep is Elisa Weber. Elisa, the temperatures outside may be feeling warmer, but there's still a concern about ice.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are in Lewis right now. We actually just passed the ferry terminal. Those operations this morning are still canceled due to the conditions in the Delaware Bay. But this morning, those flurries are lightening up throughout the hour. As you can see outside right now, it appears to be no accumulation, which is a really, really good sign. The roads are clear, as you can see. The only snow and ice on the roadways is what we've been dealing with for the past couple of days since that snowstorm last week. This morning, the temperature is actually warmer than we have experienced in the past couple of mornings, which is always a good sign to keep melting everything. But just be cautious as you are driving this morning. As those temperatures cool a little bit, we could see some things start to freeze over. You just want to make sure, especially on back roads, that you are being cautious. But one more look outside, the roadway is clear. It is a good sign. You can see in the lights from our Jeep this morning that there is still a little bit of flurries out there, but again, it is getting lighter and lighter throughout the hour. Back to you.
Good to see. Thank you, Elisa. From Lewis to Ocean City, there is a dispute over the residency status for one of its council members. It's the subject of a special meeting later today.
And the issue has its roots in the 2024 election when the council disqualified Leslie Smith from running.
Council claimed her residency did not meet requirements to run for office. And according to council, a member must live in Ocean City for at least 4 months before an election.
Now, Smith claims Tony DeLuca, who won one of those council seats, also does not qualify because he too did not meet the residency requirement.
I ultimately don't feel as though someone who is not living here full time should be making decisions that affect the citizens that do live here full time.
Now, after our initial reporting about this last month, we received this statement from DeLuca, quote, "I'm aware of Ms. Smith's challenge to my residency. I have nothing to hide, and I look forward to the mayor and city council giving me the opportunity to address this matter openly and candidly. I will rely on the city solicitor and the city manager as the best next steps forward towards bringing this matter to a conclusion."
Smith says that she plans to run for the Ocean City Council again in 2028. The special meeting scheduled for this afternoon at 1 p.m. Happening today, Taros Village, which is a tent community for the homeless off Route 1 in Lewis, is going before the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. From March 15th to December 1st, the area is filled with tents and other amenities, but after the season, organizers say they must pack everything up. Organizers of the village are requesting a change to the current conditional use ordinance so that they can keep items there during the off-season. The Planning and Zoning meeting takes place this afternoon at 3.
As we just saw from our Lisa Weber, cancellations continue for the Cape May Lewis ferry. This is video from earlier this week in the Delaware Bay. You can just see it's completely frozen over at this point. Ferry announcing that again, trip scheduled for this morning not taking place. We're talking about the 8:45 a.m. departure from Lewis and also the earlier 7 a.m. departure from Cape May. Director of the ferry, Heath Gerke, says tugboats are continuing to work to help resume operations.
Also, the Woodland Ferry will be closed today. That's according to DelDOT, who says the ferry will be closed due to today's weather conditions.
We're now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. President Trump says the federal government should be in charge of elections, taking over a role that the Constitution grants to the states. Democrats are sounding warning bells about this, while Republicans they're trying to clarify what the president meant.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how this relates to claims about the 2020 election.
When you said that you should nationalize elections.
President Trump doubling down.
I want to see elections be honest.
On controversial comments out this week in a podcast with his former deputy FBI director.
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
Democrats calling that an assault on the Constitution, which dictates that the states run elections.
This is more dangerous autocratic poison from Donald Trump.
Top Republicans in the House.
It's always been the responsibility of the states to administer elections.
And Senate also calling this a constitutional issue while pointing to the SAVE Act, a Republican bill requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote that the White House said President Trump was referencing.
Ensuring that only citizens of this country vote in our elections, that's something I think we all agree with.
It's already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal and state elections. It all comes as President Trump continues to falsely assert the debunked claim that the 2020 election was stolen through widespread fraud. In a dramatic escalation, the FBI last week raided a Fulton County, Georgia election center, seizing ballots and other records related to the 2020 election. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard observed the raid, and two sources say she facilitated President Trump speaking by phone directly to FBI agents involved in the search, sparking more outrage among Democrats as a senior administration official pointed to Gabbard's role in election security. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Delaware State Police say 28-year-old Jesus Palacio Hernandez of Selbyville is facing charges after they arrested him for murdering a family member. Here's where police say a 71-year-old woman was found dead in a ditch behind the home on Pinto Drive. DSP says Palacio Hernandez assaulted her, then moved her body outside. According to the agency, she was found by family members while troopers were responding. Delaware State Police say Palacio Hernandez is now charged with first-degree murder.
New this morning got possible upgrades for parks in Millsboro. According to its agenda, the Parks Committee is expected to discuss a plan for revitalizing the town parks. That committee is also set to review possible survey questions and then decide which ones to use. Millsboro's Parks Committee is meeting in just a few hours from now. That's at 9:30 a.m.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News today.
Coming up, Assateague Island erosion, how recent storms are creating changes for visitors in the area.
Also, Ocean City Inlet study, why Worcester County leaders say they want to keep the area on the federal radar.
Still ahead, Camp Rehoboth exhibition, when people can view photographs from local artists in a wide range of styles. And there we get a good look at First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center after those overnight flurries. He's working on what we can expect next as we head towards sunrise. We check in with Chris next.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. Hope this morning is treating you well. We had a little light snow that passed through overnight, giving some areas a dusting, primarily on cars and untreated surfaces. We are at the freezing mark in Lewis, and you can see the snow and mixed precipitation offshore already. And we are seeing mostly cloudy skies across the region. Dry conditions back off to the west. This little area of snow may just touch portions of Accomack County here over the next few hours. We're at the freezing mark in Georgetown. 31 in Easton, so some slick spots are possible through the morning, so use some caution out there, especially on those less treated roads. Temperatures are going to be getting into the mid to upper 30s through the afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. We'll talk about even colder weather on the horizon. Unfortunately, just in time for the weekend, we're talking about sub-zero wind chills. Full 7-day forecast in minutes.
New this morning, a new photography exhibition at Camp Rehoboth is putting the spotlight on one powerful image from each artist. The exhibition, called Best Shot, features photographs from more than 20 members of the Coastal Camera Club. The show includes fine art photography, along with images of nature, wildlife, and everyday life. People can attend the opening reception Saturday, February 7th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Camp Rehoboth. And to learn more about the exhibit and what you can expect, head to the article that's on our website, CoastTV.com.
Ocean City Fire Department has sworn in a new fire chief. Josh Bunting was previously a volunteer firefighter, and he also served as an Ocean City fire marshal.
And Bahama Breeze closing its doors after 30 years in business. Tuesday, parent company Darden Restaurants said it will shut down the Caribbean-themed chain's remaining 28 locations in the coming months. Half will close outright, while the others will be converted into different Darden-owned brands. The move follows earlier closures and talks about a possible sale. The final day for Bahama Breeze is April 5th.
Get this, today marks 20 years since Facebook launched. Mark Zuckerberg was a Harvard University sophomore when he introduced the social networking site to fellow students. It began as a campus-only website. It quickly expanded beyond colleges and really beyond all expectations. Facebook buried early rivals like MySpace and Friendster. Facebook currently reaches more than 2 billion users every day, Chris.
Amazing. As we take a look at your forecast for today, we see some slick conditions this morning, but the big story is going to be the return of Arctic air this weekend. I'll have details on how low those wind chills are going to fall coming up.
And we're approaching 6:17 on this Wednesday morning. We're giving you a live look now at the early morning scene at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. And Chris, we are turning from a little bit of snow flurries, at least for some of us on Delmarva, to a much drier day as we move along here.
Yeah, not too bad of a day. We're brushing off some snow off that windshield this morning, maybe a little on the grass and the sidewalks, those less treated areas, and it's all off the coast at the moment. It's very light. We told you about it last night. We weren't expecting much. A few snow showers back off across Roanoke and portions of central Virginia. This area of low pressure is going to sink to our south. We're going to actually pick up a little snow across northeastern portions of the Carolinas overnight tonight, but that system is going to stay well to our south. We're at the freezing mark in Ocean View, 31 in Millsboro. We're at 30 Harrington, 31 in Delmar. Look at this. We're running about 12 degrees warmer in Georgetown than where we were 24 hours ago. 15 degrees warmer, so that is certainly good news. Temperatures are mild this morning considering where we have been, and the winds are relatively calm. So not much of a wind chill this morning. We get up into the mid to upper 30s under a mix of sun and clouds. Partly sunny skies, 36 into Milford, 37 in Millsboro, 36 in Easton. See a high of 39 in Salisbury to 37 in Ocean City. So tonight will be partly cloudy, a little colder. We're going to dip back into the upper teens away from the beaches, lower 20s at the beaches overnight tonight. And then even colder into Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, northerly wind will get up into the lower 30s and will stay there right through Friday. And that's ahead of an Arctic front. And this Arctic front's going to mean business. First part, we're going to see some snow showers, maybe even a few snow squalls as we go into Friday evening, and then the cold front pushes through, and this front is going to bring a return of Arctic air. We're talking about temperatures back in the 20s, and more importantly, the wind chill. That's going to be a huge factor as we go into Sunday afternoon, in through Saturday night, into Sunday morning, and that's all thanks to a strong area of low pressure strengthening offshore, a high pressure system digging in, That tight pressure gradient you get between those two systems causes those winds to accelerate, and we're going to see some gusts, I think, to 45, 50 miles an hour, and that's going to produce some dangerous wind chills. 4 below in Lewis, and this is through the warmest part of the day on Saturday, and look at where we're at by Sunday morning, potentially some of our lowest wind chills we've seen so far this season. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s over the weekend, overnight lows in the single digits. The good news is it's not a prolonged stretch of Arctic air, 28 into Monday, and we are at 41 into Tuesday under partly cloudy skies. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Worcester County officials are hoping federal experts will take a new look at the Ocean City inlet system. This would begin the process of updating a water resources study. It's a study that hasn't been done since 1998. County commissioners approved sending a letter to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers explaining concerns ranging from flooding and storm impacts to navigation and sand movement.
The county puts money toward it, and the Ocean City puts money toward it, and the state and federal. Yeah, so hopefully we can get enough to keep the beach there, basically.
And Worcester County officials say this is a key step to keep the inlet on the federal radar as budgets are debated.
Growth on the coast. We know it's a big issue, and we have growing pains because everyone wants to live here. But it comes at a cost. Roads, infrastructure development, a loss of open space. All that creates conflict and concern.
CoastTV has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. And tonight, join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast. Up next, Assateague Island erosion, how leaders plan to address the huge drop-off after damage from the recent storms. CoastTV News Today is back after this.
Recent storms haven't been too kind to Assateague State Park shoreline. Just take a look at these videos here showing erosion and drop-offs. These go up around 10 feet in some places. Park officials say a lot of the sand is frozen too, leaving it to fall off in these heavy chunks. They've had to close a couple of park entrances due to the drop-offs, and some surfers say they hope the spots are patched up before the summer season.
We're only a few months away from the busy season here, so as more people start to come here and use the beach, if it hasn't righted itself by then yeah, I would say. So yeah, they'll probably need to bring in some sand there.
The park superintendent says they'll watch the eroded sections over the coming weeks and fix up any of the spots that need it before the busy season. She also asked for visitors to use the main entrance and to not get too close to those drop-offs.
Good Wednesday morning, Delmarva. Well, we had a little light snow overnight that is now pushed offshore. Taking a look into Lewis, we're right at the freezing mark. Winds are calm, and that is good news. The winds aren't going to be too gusty today through Ocean City, Fenwick Island. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds through the day today. Temperatures only getting into the mid to upper 30s, so we're going to run about 10 degrees below where we should be as this below average weather continues. Sunny skies through Lewis and Rehoboth, and then a few clouds will develop through the afternoon. Pretty nice day along the mid-shore and eastern shore. Cambridge 36 by noon, and we're up to 38 in Crisfield by around your lunchtime. Congratulations, Ruth Shickley of Lewis, Delaware, on winning an umbrella from CoastTV. We'll talk about another round of Arctic air just in time for the weekend in that 7-day forecast coming up in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on CoastTV News Today, the search for Nancy Guthrie, what new information police are sharing in the investigation for the disappearance of the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
Also, Ocean City special meeting. What sparked town officials there to look into qualifications of one council member?
Plus, Terrace Village agreement. What organizers of the tent community for the homeless are asking for today in front of Sussex County leaders. CoastTV News Today continues after the break.
Now on CoastTV News.
And a little light snow passed through the overnight, left a dusting across some parts of Delmarva. We'll have some slick spots this morning, looking at a partly sunny day, but I'm tracking an Arctic blast for the weekend.
Plus, cold road conditions. With snow flurries in the morning hours, we show you what we are seeing on our streets.
Plus, tent community debate.
And we intend to bring in electricity so that we can charge devices for our guests.
Why that is a key part of the zoning request in Sussex County for an area that provides aid for the homeless.
And seat status showdown, how the issue of residency has forced a special meeting for the Ocean City Council later today.
This is Coast TV News Today.
February 4th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for joining us today.
6:28 a.m. on this Wednesday.
And we were just checking our calendar to see if there was anything fun happening today. Today, National Soup Day.
That one got my attention.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask what your favorite soup is,
I feel like
Matt.
I'm just going standard, maybe chalk as they say. I'll go chicken noodle soup. You know, get some thick noodles, big chunks of chicken.
You are just a good old-fashioned Pennsylvania boy at heart, aren't you? It doesn't get more American than that.
I didn't know that was exclusive to the Keystone State, but I guess I'll take that.
And you know what? We were talking earlier. Chris, do you have any favorite Italian soups you got going on?
Oh,
It's nice on a warm, cold day like today. We had flurries this morning. It's having yourself a nice warm bowl of homemade soup.
A little minestrone, a little pasta fazola, as they say, or the slang, or a little Italian wedding soups. Got all that's pretty good too. As we take a look at the snow we had overnight, did a little bit of a dusting across the area, and it's offshore already. And we're seeing some of that areas of maybe some untreated roads, of some side streets, some sidewalks, seeing a little light dusting there, and a few more light snow showers pushing across Roanoke that may graze portions of Accomack County. Now we see the frozen dock here in Ocean View, 32 degrees there, and temperatures are just at or below the freezing mark in most of our locations, so some slick spots are possible this morning. And with that said, we are seeing a little fog develop along the coast with some added moisture in the atmosphere and the colder ground across the area. So temperatures are going to be getting into the mid to upper 30s through the afternoon under partly sunny skies. We'll fall to 31 this evening and a colder night ahead. We're going to be back into the teens and 20s. And unfortunately, that's only a taste of what's to come because we're going to be talking about sub-zero wind chills by the weekend. I'll have more on that here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour is the road conditions. And as Chris just mentioned, parts of Delmarva experienced flurries this morning.
And giving us a live look now outside in our first alert weather Jeep is Elisa Weber. Temperature slightly warmer. Still a concern about ice, though. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are driving through back roads in Rehoboth Beach. It does appear that those flurries have stopped, at least in Rehoboth. The good news is this morning, those roads, they have been in good, clear condition. A little wet. It kind of looked like it rained outside on the roads, but in terms of our Jeep driving, it was a very, very smooth drive for us. The only snow and ice on the roads is that same snow and ice we've been dealing with since last week. Of course, back roads, we've been saying this pretty much every single day. Just go extra slow, just in case those roads have not been treated. But this is the time of year there is a lot of salt on the roads, and while that salt is necessary to keep people and cars safe, it can be dangerous to animals. Our dogs, they still need to go outside, they still need to go for their walks, but we spoke with the vet how to walk your dog safely when there is salt on the ground. They recommended keeping your dog outside for no more than 10 minutes, just in case those conditions are worse for their paws. They also recommended that you make sure that you are covering their paws. It doesn't matter the breed of your dog. They said that just keeping those paws covered provides extra protection. And that vet also said to make sure you're always checking your dog's paws because you never know what could be sticking underneath. And of course, make sure your dog is not eating the salt. There is pet-friendly salt, but that vet said that you can't assume that larger municipalities use that salt. But here's what that vet had to say.
If your dog, especially little dogs or dogs like retrievers that have like hairy feet, you want to make sure when they come in also that they don't have any ice balls in between their feet, because that's going to really hurt. And you need to kind of melt those out of there and take care of them like that. There's some dogs, they don't care, like my Great Dane. She's out there running and doesn't care, it doesn't seem to bother her feet. But we also have to be cognizant.
And Dr. Reed said a good way to gauge how long your dog should be outside, see how long you would be able to be out there barefoot. She said if your dog has irritation from the salt or the cold, you can use Aquaphor as an ointment. But if you are really concerned about any cuts on their paws or if they've possibly eaten salt, she said that you can contact your local vet. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Happening today, Terrace Village, which is a tent community for the homeless off Route 1 in Lewis, is going before the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. From March 15th to December 1st, the area is filled with tents and other amenities. But after the season, organizers say they must pack everything up. Organizers of the village are requesting a change to the current conditional use ordinance so that they can keep items there during the off-season. Terrace Village says the goal is keeping items there permanently and to build up this area more, like installing more durable tents that protect people from the elements.
We also brought in water last year, which was really helpful because we had done bottled water drives to provide that, but now we have on-site water amenities, and we intend to bring in electricity so that we can charge devices for our guests. And importantly, a number of our guests are on medical insulin, and that requires cooling, especially during the summer.
The Planning and Zoning meeting takes place this afternoon at 3 p.m.
We have a developing situation to tell you about in Ocean City. There is a dispute over the residency status for one of its council members.
And the issue has its roots in the 2024 election when the council disqualified Leslie Smith from running.
Council claimed her residency did not meet requirements to run for office. Now, according to council, a member must live in Ocean City for at least 4 months before an election.
Now, Smith claims Tony DeLuca, who won one of those council seats, also does not qualify because he too did not meet the residency requirements.
And after our initial reporting last month about this, we received this statement from DeLuca, quote, "I'm aware of Ms. Smith's challenge to my residency. I have nothing to hide, and I look forward to the mayor and city council giving me the opportunity to address this matter openly and candidly. I will rely on the city solicitor and the city manager as the best next steps forward to bringing this matter to a conclusion."
Smith says that she plans to run for the Ocean City Council again in 2028. A special meeting addressing this issue is scheduled for this afternoon at 1 p.m.
Cancellations continuing for the Cape May Lewis ferry. Check out the video that we've been getting this week from the Delaware Bay. You can see it's completely frozen over. Ferry is announcing that again, trips scheduled for this morning, they're not taking place. We're talking about the 8:45 a.m. departure from Lewis. There's also the 7 a.m. departure from Cape May. Director of the ferry, Heath Gerke, says tugboats are continuing to work to help resume operations.
Happening today, the process of upgrading Millsboro's parks. According to its meeting agenda, the Parks Committee is expected to discuss a plan for improving the town parks. The committee is also set to review possible survey questions and decide which to use. Millsboro's Parks Committee meets in just a few hours from now at 9:30 a.m.
This morning, Ocean City hosting a cleanup event this weekend. Officials say participants will meet at Northside Park and spend the morning picking up trash throughout the town. Cleanup is open to everyone, and also hot chocolate will get provided. That sounds like a good deal. Trash weigh-in and celebration takes place at 11:45 a.m. and then bats back at the check-in tents. The Winter Green Clean is set for Saturday, February 7th from 10 a.m. to noon.
And we are now taking a live look at Tucson, Arizona on this Wednesday morning as authorities are investigating possible ransom communications tied to the disappearance of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says it's aware of reports involving possible ransom notes connected to Nancy Guthrie.
Reed Binion shows us the latest as the search continues for the 84-year-old woman.
I think it's terrible. I think it's a terrible thing.
President Donald Trump on Tuesday weighing in on the disappearance of Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie.
Would you commit to more federal agents like helping out on the search?
Sure, I would. I'm going to call her later on. I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah.
Nancy Guthrie's family reported her missing around noon Sunday.
Having referenced Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
On Tuesday, sheriff's officials said investigators were working through any data that may be available about a pacemaker. The Pima County Sheriff also spoke about samples of DNA from Guthrie's home.
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
Meanwhile, at least 2 outlets, including a TV station in Tucson, reported they had received what appeared to be a ransom note. The sheriff was asked about that Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into all that. We are following all leads we have. We are sharing all of our leads with the FBI. They are helping us in evaluating those leads.
In a post on X, the sheriff's department said it was aware of reports involving possible ransom notes in the case, adding in a statement that there was, quote, no credible information indicating this was a targeted incident. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This just in, President Trump says the federal government should be in charge of elections, taking over a role that the Constitution grants to the states. Some Democrats calling that an assault on the Constitution, which dictates that the states run elections. This as some Republicans try to clarify what the president meant while pointing to the SAVE Act, a Republican bill requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote, that the White House said President Trump was referencing.
This is more dangerous autocratic poison from Donald Trump.
Ensuring that only citizens of this country vote in our elections, that's something I think we all agree with.
It's already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal and state elections. It all comes as President Trump continues to falsely assert the debunked claim that the 2020 election was stolen through widespread fraud.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Salisbury Police reaccreditation, how the department says people can contribute to the process.
And Southern Strategy, how Maryland Eastern Shore looks to get back into the win column with a roadie tonight at South Carolina State. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
James Albrand answered his nation's call not once, but twice. First serving 4 years in the United States Navy aboard the USS Constellation, including a tour in Vietnam, and then enlisting in the Air Force after a year in the reserves for another deployment to the war zone. His courage was proven beyond doubt while stationed at Anderson Air Force Base in Guam, where he risked his own life by welding a ruptured JP fuel line to ensure B-52 bombers could continue their critical refueling operations during wartime. This selfless act exemplified the quiet heroism that defines those who serve. James Albrand's dedication across 2 branches of the military and his willingness to put mission and fellow service members above his own safety represent the very best of American service.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Hope this Wednesday morning's treating you well, Delmarva. We're almost to that weekend, and we have some okay weather out there this morning. Still kind of so-so, if you will. We're at the freezing mark in Lewis. We had some light snow overnight that dropped a little dusting across the area, so some slick spots out there primarily on untreated surfaces. We're hovering right at or just below the freezing mark. We're at 31 in Cambridge, 32 in Georgetown, 31 in Ocean City. So aside from a few slick spots on non-treated surfaces this morning, we're looking pretty good this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, 37, and then we'll fall to 30 through the evening. You could always call our Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. I'll be back with my full 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, Salisbury Police Department says it will undergo an online assessment as part of its reaccreditation through the Commission of Accreditation for law enforcement agencies. The review will evaluate department policies, procedures, operations, and support services to ensure that they meet and continue to meet national professional standards. The agency says that the process is part of a multi-year effort that includes annual reviews leading up to the on-site assessment in 2028. People can submit comments online through the Commission's public portal.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In college hoops, the men of Maryland Eastern Shore have suffered setbacks. After their record-breaking 4-0 start to MEAC play, the Hawks dropped 2 straight, including a 2-point loss at North Carolina Central Monday night. But there is a chance to right the ship tonight. Both the men's and women's programs of Maryland Eastern Shore are on the road playing South Carolina State. And although UMES has been on a bit of a downtrend, they do have a winning formula. Get the ball to their bigs, Zion Obanla and Dorian Staples. Obanla, he had 19 points in a season-high 15 rebounds on Monday, and Coach Cleo Hill knows they'll have to lean on him again tonight.
we have some size on this team with Lacandro and Flippin, but down the stretch it seems like that 4-5 combo of Obanla and Staples has been pretty good, something that we talked about in non-conference play, but we couldn't use it because of the team size that we played against. But in our league, I think 4 and 5 at times will be pretty good with those two guys inside.
Yeah, watch out for Dorian Staples, too. Just as Coach said, he had 14 points in the loss on Monday. Tonight, they're hoping for a winning effort against SC State. Have a great day, Delmarva.
And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 8:30 p.m. Dover hosts Smyrna in boys basketball, then catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch the game we just mentioned on DSN Plus, along with these exclusive wrestling matches. At 5 p.m., Mardella visits Snow Hill. Also at 5 p.m., Kent County takes on North Carolina. At 6 p.m., Sussex Tech faces Cedar Rodney. And at 6:30 p.m., Sussex Central hosts Milford.
Hey, don't forget, Super Bowl airs right here on Coast TV Sunday, February 8th, pregame 1. Kickoff is around 6:30 p.m. And after all that coverage, stay tuned for Coast TV News. Rough week? You can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Fridays.
And here's what you're looking forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, here is what's coming your way. Everybody loves bingo. We got your opportunity to play some bingo, all for a good cause coming up. We are also talking about the Art League of Ocean City, some of their amazing events, including Art Uncorked, which is going to be a unique Valentine's Day date. And the Cape May Lewis Ferry has something new going on. We can't wait to share that news with you. All of that and so much more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Well, aside from a few slick spots this morning, a pretty decent day on Delmarva. A mix of sun and clouds will be in the mid to upper 30s, but unfortunately we're tracking another round of Arctic air. And yeah, it's going to come in a big way over the weekend. I'll have all the latest coming up next.
And the time's now 6:49 a.m. as we're looking out into a frozen Cambridge this morning. Chris, we are greeted by some flurries. What an exciting way to wake up on this Wednesday.
I know, right? A little dusting of snow there in Cambridge across portions of Sussex County. It'll brush that off your windshield this morning, but you can see the snow is offshore. We had a little mixed precipitation across the eastern shore, and there's still a few snow showers there across central portions of Virginia. They may graze portions of Accomack County here over the next hour, but an area of low pressure is going to pass to our south today, and we're going to be stuck in a mix of sun and clouds, a little bit more of the way of cloud cover, I think, towards the southern end of the peninsula. 31 right now in Cambridge. You can see a little fog there along the shore from Ocean City down through Wallops Island and a little further inland there due to that colder ground, a little moisture in the atmosphere. We're at 32 in Rehoboth, 31 in Milford. We're running about 6 degrees warmer in Salisbury than where we were just 24 hours ago. Winds relatively calm, so that is good news. Not much of a wind chill this morning. We get up to the mid to upper 30s this afternoon. Northerly winds anywhere between about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So we're looking pretty nice across the peninsula. 38 Ocean Pines, 37 in Cambridge this afternoon. It's going to be a colder night under partly cloudy skies. We'll dip into the teens and lower 20s into early Thursday. And Thursday is a colder day. On the brisk side, mostly sunny skies. We'll have a northeasterly wind, keeping the area just at or just below freezing for most locations. 34 into Friday, and then the bottom drops out into the weekend. We're back into the 20s as an Arctic front approaches. Now, as we go into late Friday afternoon through the evening, a round of light snow is possible. Can't even rule out a few snow squalls as that Arctic front approaches the region. Behind it, we turn extremely windy into Saturday. We're talking about gusts approaching 50 miles an hour, and that's all thanks to this tight pressure gradient between an area of low pressure offshore and Arctic high pressure settling into the Ohio River Valley, and you get that funneling effect, and that's going to produce, well, sub-zero wind chills during the warmest part of the day on Saturday, feeling like 6 below in Georgetown, 3 below in Bethany Beach. And then by Sunday morning, we could potentially be seeing wind chills anywhere between -9 and -12. So pay close attention to the forecast here over the next few days. It stays dry over the weekend, but bitterly cold. 23 into your Super Bowl Sunday. We say sunny and dry into Monday. 28. The good news is it's a short-lived stint of Arctic air because we're back up to 41 degrees by Tuesday. So it looks like a good weekend to stay in and watch some football and maybe eat some soup or chili there.
Yeah, Chris, I'm going to hold you to that short part of that frigid forecast. Hey, we're now taking a live look at Milan, Italy. The countdown is on as we are just days away from the start of the 2026 Winter Olympic Games.
And figure skater Amber Glenn will compete at her first Olympics this year, hoping to become the first U.S. woman in medal to singles and Olympics since 2006. The 26-year-old is a 3-time U.S. national champion, a 6-time ISU Grand Prix medalist, and a 5-time ISU Challenger Series medalist. Glenn believes that the high point of her career has also overlapped with her best years personally, too, since she came out as publicly bisexual and pansexual in 2019. Glenn will become the first out woman to figure skate at the Olympics, according to Outsports, a website that has tracked LGBTQ athletes since 1999. And we are counting down the days to the opening ceremonies. The Winter Olympics are about to begin. You can watch that here February 6th to the 22nd on CoastTV. And during this Winter Olympics, Jeopardy! Moving to Fox 21. That is from February 9th to February 20th. You can watch Jeopardy! There at 7:30 p.m. And the time is now 6:53 a.m. at Pensick. It is time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
We have this one in this hour right now on your screen is Chip. Now, as you can see from the big smile on his face, Chip is a happy and loved dog. Chip, like Fiona, who we had last hour, was submitted to us by Pamela and Lincoln. So it looks like Pamela's got a lot going on there with those two dogs.
She's got one dog that loves frigid temperatures and one that looks happy just hanging out inside with Chip's person. Well, thank you so much. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. If you want to take a look at your screen now.
You can scan that QR code at the top to get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. And we have one final check with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Now, Chris, I know we had some ice and snow melting a little bit yesterday. Yeah. It doesn't seem like we're going to have as much of that today.
No, you'll get a little during the warmest part of the day as those temperatures get above freezing, but not a drastic melt here. And there's the light snow from overnight now well offshore. 37 this afternoon under a mix of sun and clouds. 33 by Thursday. And then Friday, an Arctic front pushes through, bringing another chance of some light snow by Friday evening. Could even see some snow squalls. And then Saturday, the winds. Boy, that's going to be the story. Gusting 50 miles an hour, or going to see sub-zero wind chills into the weekend.
Grace, that wind could affect our hair.
Oh no, you need extra product, apparently. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
Hey, don't forget to download our Coast TV News and weather apps for your phones and our devices. Weather app's a great one. I use it a lot, hour by hour. You get those temperatures. You can see when it's.
I'm surprised you know how to use apps.
Hush. Have a good day, everybody.